Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to the farm. This morning I'm a very unpopular dad. I had to rouse Thomas out of bed early in the morning because we're fixing to move the Miata. And we're going to move the Miata over where we can put it up on a lift, take the wheels off of it, and degrease the underside, degrease the engine compartment, wash it, clean the brakes, clean all the wheel wells, and basically get it where when you work on it, you don't end up with grime all over your paws just by touching the underside. So that's what we're doing today. Come along with us as we get some stuff done on the farm. Let's get to work. Now we're going to move the quick jack out of the barn and over to the RV pad so we can get the car up off of the ground and take the wheels off and start power washing this thing. Okay.
Game show idea. It's who wants to be a millionaire, but all the contestants are billionaires, so it's more of a threat.
Bring the little John Deere in, and I want you to put the fork like right here. Degreaser under the underside of the car. We're going to get rid of all this oil. You want to open the hood for me, son?
Yeah.
Now we got to let this stuff sit for about 30 minutes to let the degreaser do its job. Then we can start power washing it. Well, it's windy. It's early in the morning. Got Thomas help me get everything set up. He was not real happy about waking up. He worked till 3 o'clock in the morning last night. So getting rousted out of bed at 7 something is not his cup of tea. And I don't blame him. But I got the stuff set up, and I'm ready to start my power washing. The first thing we did was I went and took a bunch of engine degreaser and I sprayed it around various areas that there's some grease and road grime, and forgive the wind, it's a little breezy this morning. But I'm going to start at the least important and move up to the most important. This liquid engine degreaser that comes in a can, you got to let it sit for about 30 minutes to let it penetrate and do its thing, and then you go and hit it with some soap and water, and boy, all that stuff just comes right off. I say all that stuff. I've had some old cars that you had to scrub and power wash multiple times, but I don't think we're going to have that problem with this car. I really don't. Most everything that's underneath isn't necessarily black grease grime. It's mostly wet motor oil, so it ought to come off pretty easy. So hang out with us and watch me get a little bit of work done here on the farm. Well, welcome back. We're back washing the Miata, and again, I'm not washing the car. We've gone and sprayed a bunch of degreaser and stuff all under the underside of the car, and I'm going to attack the wheel wells, the brakes, the suspension, the drive line, the engine, and all of that. We're trying to get rid of as much oil and grease as we can so that we can go and figure out where it's actually leaking at. We've got a pretty good idea where it's leaking at, but I want to make sure. So let's get to work. First thing I'm going to do is put soap all over everything. Now I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes with the soap and water all over everything. And I'm using Dawn dish soap. Dawn dish soap is really good about loosening up oil and grease. And it's one of the worst things you can possibly wash your car with. And here's the reason why. If you're washing the outside of your car, it will strip every little bit of wax you have ever put on that car. But that's also its strong point. It will remove wax and grease and all that stuff. So in this application where I'm trying to get rid of all that oil and grease, it's one of the best things I can use. But again, I said Dawn dish soap is not something you want to use on the body of your car. It's not good for your paint job, and it's definitely not good for your wax. So we'll wait for a few minutes and let the soap and water soak in, and then we'll go and hit it with the power washer. Well, it's been about 10 minutes, and I removed the tip for the soap applicator, and now I'm putting on a special tip that actually is a oscillating tip that goes round and round and round in a circle. That way we're not blowing the paint off the stuff with this thing. You put one of those little fine tips on these, and you go after an 80s or 90s car, and you're liable to go and blow the paint right off. So that's why I use this one. It's a little bit more gentle, and it does a pretty good job. I went and slapped the back window with some soap off camera, just because it's grungy. I'm going to go and hit it first, go and hit the back wheel wells, the rear differential, and then we'll move towards the front. You can't see it, but I can. That's a whole different color inside that wheel well now. And the CV boots are actually black. Yeah, we're making a dent. Well, that's round one. I expect to go after this thing at least 3 times, because after it dries, I'll find all the spots that I missed. We'll go and hit those, get the stuff cleaned out with this, and then the third time will be a general heavy soap for everything that I can get to underneath there. This isn't a one-step process. And yeah, come back later, or we will come back later, and you'll get to see the progress that I made. Now I've got 20 some odd years worth of brake dust and grease and grime and road grit laying all over my clean concrete. It's getting hot out here. I think I will let it dry, and then we'll go after it again. You probably can't see this real well, but this is not even a quarter of what I got from underneath that car. After I shut off the camera a few minutes ago, it was like, yeah, I need to power wash the concrete, get it clean, so that the second go round I can see just how much crud I'm getting off. I went and blew it off this way, I blew it off that way, I blew some off there, and this isn't even a quarter of the crap that came off the bottom of that car. Grease, oil, brake dust, 20 years of road grit. It's pretty evident that nobody, and I mean nobody, has ever gone and washed the underside of this car. I can see components now that I couldn't even see before. I can see nuts and bolts that I didn't even see before. And yeah, we're making a dent, and it's really hot out here, so I'm getting where I can't talk. That's when you know it's time to go inside, get a cold drink, and sit in front of a fan. And that's exactly where I'm going. It's about almost 11 o'clock, and I bet you it's 95 to 98 degrees out here, and at least 75-80% humidity. Yuck.